Hi, let's spend a couple of minutes exploring Windows 7, its security, networking, and parental control features. So what we have here, for the sake of our little demo, are two Windows 7 machines. There is a machine labeled Win7 Dad, and you will recognize it by its beautiful backdrop wallpaper here. And this could be a laptop, for example, that mom or dad carries with them to work. And when they get back home, the machine connects itself to the home wireless network at home and joins the home group network, which we will discuss a bit later. The second machine here is a child's machine. This could be your son's or daughter's or a house guest's machine, just another Windows 7 machine that's somewhere at your house connected to the same network. So what Microsoft has really done an outstanding job with is allowing you to easily connect machines in a trusted environment such as your home network. So as a child, as little junior here, what I'm able to do is not only browse my own files, but I can actually click on my network icon, and within seconds all the other Windows 7 machines in my house on my network would get discovered. If I double click on Dad's machine, I can actually explore and browse Dad's files and get down to the document level or access many files on Dad's machine which Dad may not be aware of. Now, in Microsoft's defense, Microsoft has really made it very easy for people to control what it is that they're sharing. For example, some people may not know this, but you can highlight a file or a folder, you could right click on it, select Share With, and you can easily control whether nobody on the network should be able to see the file, or whether people should be able to only see the file but not change it, or whether people should be able to change files, or you could choose specific people. But think about your machine for a minute here. You probably have hundreds, if not thousands, of files on your machine. Some are documents from work, some are movies you downloaded, some are music, some are email attachments, some are organized neatly in folders, such as your documents, some are on your desktops, some you don't even know where they are because they were just random Windows attachments. So unless you really enjoy playing an IT person, you don't really have time to sit there and microcontrol what specific files you're going to share at your house. So for most people, you trust your home environment, so you simply make all of your libraries shared throughout the house. One of the ramifications of doing that is that if we switch back to Junior's machine here, your child or anybody else on your home group network is now able to browse your files and able to open your files. For example, bank account looks pretty intriguing. I'm going to double click on this and look what happens. There's Daddy's secret offshore bank account. The file is wide open for anyone on the home network. If your work network is not set up properly, by the way, when you set up Windows, you could tell Windows, as soon as you're on a network, you could actually tell Windows what type of network it is. If you click on Home versus one of the two other choices, you may make a mistake and actually share all your files with your colleagues as well on accident. But that's a bit out of scope here. So right now, Junior here is able to open up Dad's file. So one aspect of this, there are two bad things here. One bad thing here is that a child may have access to a file that you had not intended them to access. The other bad aspect here is the fact that even though this file is being accessed in real time, I mean, this is a real living, breathing Windows 7 machine. You may be able to see the clock here changing. On Dad's machine, there is absolutely no indication showing that anyone is accessing this file in real time. So what we're proposing here, what our invention here is, to enable people to see when files on their machine are being accessed in real time. It's one thing to protect your machine via firewalls and network security, such as delimiting who can access your files. That's great. However, if somebody has gotten to your hard drive, for example, trusted family members, it still does not mean that you should not know who is actually looking at your file in real time. So back to our invention here, Let's say, for example, that all Junior really wants to do is look at daddy's, mommy's, and daddy's movies. So we're going to navigate back to the movies folder, look at my videos. Oh, look at that. Looks like mommy and daddy have paid for a lot of videos. And as a child, I'm going to kind of scan the videos and just pick one at random. I don't know what Young Victoria is, but I'm curious. I'm going to click on it. So look what happens in this version of Windows 7. Typically, you would actually hear a sound playing here. And what the parent would see is they would see a notification in real time that somebody is actually accessing a file on their machine. In this case, the user is Junior. The computer name is Kids PC. That's a unique identifier of the kid's machine. The file being accessed is in Dad's libraries under videos called youngvictoria.avi. Here's a timestamp. And now what the parent could do, number one, the parent is probably going to be startled because this is the first version of Windows where a notification is actually issued in real time. So the parent here has really a few choices, a few good options. One option is to always allow this user access to this, well, I'm sorry. The first option here is to allow the user access to this file this one time. The second option is to always allow a user access to this file. Let's suppose it's some innocuous movie and you really don't mind if your child sees this movie. The other option is to block being able to see the file right now, but get asked again next time somebody tries to access this file. The other option is to always block this user from always being able to see this file or folder, by the way. The last choice here is your panic button. When you click on it, all sharing to your PC is terminated. If you are suddenly panicking and you notice that multiple people on your network are suddenly accessing your financial data or files you really don't want them to access, you could terminate all sharing from here, saving you a bunch of clicks in native Windows, closing your network shares, or yanking out your network cable. The last thought I want to kind of put out there is P2P software, which kids are huge on. Applications such as LimeWire, for example. Tens and tens and tens of millions of users in the world. Possibly, I think actually the number is hundreds of millions of users in the world are sharing files, music, video, and other files in a P2P fashion. One of the dangers in that is that LimeWire and other applications are very Windows 7 protocol friendly. So if Junior here tries to share files over LimeWire, if they don't know what they're doing, they could very easily click on network, very easily traverse Dad's PC, and accidentally or maliciously make all of Dad's files available. I think I'm in the wrong folder here, but make Dad's files available for sharing. Now imagine, for example, if Junior here is not being careful and they actually select Dad's documents, right? So they highlight a bunch of documents and click on Add Files. And what actually is happening here is these 7 files are actually being shared now in a P2P fashion, and potentially hundreds of people, I'm sorry, millions of people, hundreds of millions of people worldwide are now able to receive these files. And so again, this invention does not block Junior's ability to do this. But with the advent of our invention, what happens is that Dad now would get a live notification on their screen, something very similar to this, showing that a particular file or files on their machine are now being shared. In this case, they're being shared with the world. And that's a great time for Dad to put an end to it and have a little talk with her child. Thank you for watching.